Well, hello everyone. We are here at FirstEnergy Stadium where the Browns have just won 26-24 over the Saints on that incredible last drive, that last field goal drive by Brian Hoyer. What an amazing comeback for the Browns. It almost looked like they weren't going to be able to pull this one out, but he takes over at the 4, I tell you. The 4 with 2.5 minutes left, drives him down, 14 plays, sets Billy Cundiff up for the game-winning field goal. Boy, what a finish.
Mary Kay, I think Browns fans have seen this movie so many times. They're just not used to this ending. How many times have we seen the Browns just not be able to quite make the plays at I call winning time? And today they did. Brian Hoyer was tremendous. He converts a 4th down pass to Gary Barnidge, then ends up driving them down. I think it was he was 8 of 11 for 77 yards. Just a terrific drive for Brian Hoyer, and one that will give them, this entire team, a boost.
Well, you know what? I think that anybody now who has played football games with the Cleveland Browns for Brian Hoyer is starting to get that feeling that this is what he does. He's 4-1 now with the Cleveland Browns. He's won 2 games just like this in dramatic fashion, in a comeback drive at the very end in a 2-minute drill. And this time you could just see he showed the poise. There was a lot of crazy stuff going on. Yeah. Really incredibly hard to start at your 4 and go down there and get any points, especially when you're dealing with sacks and a few other things, incompletions. But he just kept going. He just kept hitting big plays. Miles Austin came up so big on that drive a couple of times. Andrew Hawkins caught the 28-yarder, was wide open on that. Didn't even know how he got wide open on that. And like you said, Gary Barnidge. So on a day when there were a lot of guys out, these guys stepped up.
You think about it, go back to like right before the draft, and you look at the guys, 3 guys you couldn't afford to not play with. They would probably be Josh Gordon, Jordan Cameron, and Ben Tate, and they're 1-1 without those guys. And other guys stepped up today. The baby backs, as Andrew Hawkins is calling them, Isaiah Crowell and Terrence West, 116, 122 yards again today. A lot of good performances all around.
And you know what? The Saints went 11-5 last year. So many people are even picking them. Well, people are picking them to win their division, but a lot of people thought maybe these guys were going to the Super Bowl this year. And as everyone knows by now, when you go 0-2, your chances of going to the playoffs are 12%. So the Browns kept their chances alive. The Saints go home wondering what just hit them.
Yeah, and one of the things that hit him at the end of the game was Carlos Dansby. Just one of the biggest plays. Again, we go back to the fact that the Browns over the last several years, probably, okay, go back to 1999, just don't make big plays when it matters. The play that will get lost in this game was Carlos Dansby's sack on the Saints' last drive that takes them out of field goal range, which means the Browns can then drive in. All they need is a field goal. Not that going 80 yards on 14 plays is easy with less than 3 minutes, but that was a huge play at the end of the game, and the kind of plays the Browns haven't been able to make in years past.
It was huge, and you know what? He has already brought so much energy, life, and big playability to this team, and you just had to know that when they picked him up from the Cardinals, if he could have the same kind of year that he had for them last year, that it was going to be huge, and he's already shown that. What a great addition for them to the defense. I mean, they really, look, they did not do a good job on Jimmy Graham today. They gave up a ton of yards, but they made the big plays when it counted.
You know, it's weird. It's one of these things, defense in 2014, a lot of times people think, well, they gave up a lot of yards, and they do have to get the running defense corrected because, again, the Saints gashed him just the way the Steelers did. But in the NFL in 2014, defense comes down to you have to make a couple plays a game. They got the 62-yard pick 6 from Tayshaun Gibson. They got a few huge sacks and plays from Paul Kruger, and then they get the play from Carlos Dansby, and that wins you a game. And hey, the New Orleans Saints only scored 24 points.
Right. And like you said, the Tayshaun Gibson pick 6 was absolutely huge. And then afterwards, they were not able to get the extra point. There was a high snap, and that loomed so large at the end. I mean, it just seemed like, that they were going to go down, on that point. And they were going to not be able to live to tell about it. But fortunately, because Brian Hoyer came through at the end, and so did some of those other guys, with Jordan Cameron out, Gary Barnidge steps up. They're able to leave here with a victory. It is their first home opener victory in 10 years. Brian says he was in high school or just getting out of high school at the time.
That's a good stat, Mary Kay.
Yeah, in 2004 was the last time that they won a home opener. They've only won one since they've been back in 1999.
They've won 2 now.
Now they have won 2.
It's just a tremendous win. The fans stayed with them the whole day. You know, there were some nervy moments for sure, but it was a good crowd here today. The Saints had burn a couple of timeouts because there was some miscommunications. So just an all-around good effort from the Browns today.
And they've got the Ravens coming to town next week, so they go into that game with a lot of confidence, and then they get a little break. They have a bye week after that, and then we'll see what happens from there. Oh, and Johnny Manziel got in for a few plays. We forgot about that. Johnny Manziel, but it was inconsequential. All it did probably was fire up Brian Hoyer even a little bit more for that last drive. And that's it from FirstEnergy Stadium.